Taoiseach, I feel like the one to point out the Emperor has no clothes here. Taoiseach, you were quoted extensively in the article which the details of the leaked report were in. You were quoted as saying that you found the report shocking and difficult to read, that you confirmed you would be making an apology to the survivors on behalf of the state and wider society. So at the very least, you had a conversation with the journalist Judy Corcoran on the Saturday. So what did you do upon finding out that the Sunday Independent had a copy of this report? Did you contact your colleagues immediately and say, we have a crisis situation, this very important report which needs to be in the hand of survivors has gotten into the media? What did you do about it at that stage when you knew that a leak had taken place? Did you take emergency measures to say we need to get it into the hands of survivors and that we don't have this attempt to have spin at this stage?
Thank you,
no, obviously you didn't. Can we have an external investigation into the leak as opposed to this managed process by the Taoiseach's own department that we've had that has unsurprisingly failed to find the culprit?
Taoiseach?
First of all, can I say that the deputies has suggested that this is a list of broken promises. I want to make it very, very clear here that the action plan that we've outlined, we're going to follow through in every one of them, and are doing it. And people may quibble or disagree with aspects of that, but the more fundamental issues that we've committed to and that survivors wanted action on for many, many years and didn't get, in terms of access to information and tracing, for example, unfettered access. And the legislation we've produced has been groundbreaking in that respect. There's no question about that. And it went through pre-legislative assessment for about 6 months, which is good. It's now gone past second stage. And that is fulfilling a commitment that we've made in this government, but something that has been sought, I'd say, for over a decade, and the previous Oireachtas were not in a position to deliver. And secondly, in terms of the payment scheme itself, the Minister did not depend on the Commission's reports in respect of framing and establishing that payment scheme. In other words, he went beyond it, and he went beyond the recommendations of the report itself. And I think that will come through the House, that will go into legislation. I have no doubt people are going to come forward with their amendments and their proposals. But again, the Minister will consider those at that particular stage of the bill. And the Burials Institutions Bill, I'm coming back to that, is also evidence. Now, you've said the government isn't committing. I have not interfered in the investigation. The government took that decision at the very beginning in terms of to widen it out, because in the modern era there has been a lot of leaking and so on. And in terms of the comments that I made, they were in respect of, I was asked basic questions in terms of would I be in a position to, or would I be offering an apology. It wasn't the first time I was asked that, in respect of the government's response to the publication of the report itself. And there are wider issues. I'm not responsible for what the Commission and how it did its work. I think it did extensive work and did very comprehensive work, but the Commission would have been established some years ago. The Commission investigation model is the one we have. It may not have been the optimum model for this type of investigation. We did separate ones in respect of the industrial schools and others, and lessons perhaps can be learned from that. I'm not at a position yet, but I certainly hope we can bring it to conclusion as quickly as we can.